So the next four that we're actually going to talk about is your, or are your, tactile, organic, thermal, and erotic. Now let's first go to your tactile. From the word itself, tactile, it deals with touch. Okay, so it's something that you can touch through your mind's skin. So if our mind has its own nose, ears, eyes, and tongue, it also has its own skin. Okay, so basically, it deals with anything that can be dealt with our sense of touch. For example, again, an interactive example, if you try to raise your hand, okay, raise your hand, and then you try to go through your hair like this one. So your hand is actually touching your hair, and try to think about the sensation that you're feeling both in your hand and both in your hair. How would you describe that sensation? So if you run your hands through your hair, how does that feel for your hand? Describe it. Okay? Fully describe it. Be be as descriptive as possible. So it's not just okay, nakakakiliti or it's ticklish. No, you don't just say that, but what does it really feel? How would you fully describe how your hand feels going through your hair? And then if you reverse that, what does your hair feel when your hand goes through it? So that's one way of describing or using the imagery of touch. And for another interactive example, try to think about what does your bed how does it feel when you actually wake up in the morning and then you feel your bed, your sheets actually wrapped around you, your pillows all over your uh, bed, and then you're actually surrounded by these comfy things. How does it feel? How does it feel? So that's basically the imagery, tactile. And then the next one will be your organic. What is organic? Basically, these are uh, also what we feel, but in contrast to tactile, these um, things or these descriptions deal with our emotional feelings or emotional well-being. So it's basically a description of how you felt. It's not just saying that you're angry, but actually you're describing the kind of anger that you're actually feeling. And it's not just describing happiness or joy, but it's actually describing what type of joy, what type of happiness. So you need to um, clearly state that, clearly describe those things. And then the next one is thermal. Now, this is somewhat related to feeling. Actually, these four are related to feeling. Okay? When we talk about thermal, this is a type of imagery wherein, from the word itself, thermal deals with temperature. It deals with how hot you feel you are, how cold you feel you are. So, basically, it's the different temperature. It depicts temperature within the written texts, okay, or within the written text. An interactive example would be try to, I'll give you time, or maybe just pause this video. Try to feel the temperature in your room, and then try to feel the temperature in your kitchen or dining area. How would you contrast that? How would you describe it? How would you describe it in words? How would you make me feel what you're actually feeling? No? in terms of thermal, in terms of temperature. So try to think about that, and we are actually going to put it into text. Okay. The next one would be, this is the last one, is erotic. We are all familiar with this type of word or this genre, but basically, it is something that suggests strong sensation or feeling, right? Something that would excite you in terms of these sensations. For example, again, this is an example of the erotic sense wherein I felt I felt his breath touching my neck, or something like that. So it gives this strong sensation or this strong feeling that is actually leaning towards being erotic. So it's not just thermal wherein, okay, it's hot, the breath is hot. No, it adds this certain sensation wherein it's exciting. For adults, right? I felt her hand gently caressing my hips until it, goes down, uh, in all of those things. So again, we're actually trying to do creative writing, and erotic is part of this type of writing, the type of imagery, and yes, we can be adults about it. So that is how you include erotic in your uh, types of imagery. Okay, so again, to wrap up, we have the four. You have your tactile, you have your organic, the thermal, and erotic. All deals with feelings. The tactile and the thermal deals with physical sensation. That can also lead to organic sensation. And I believe that erotic is actually a combination of both. Right? Through the tactile or the physical effect, there's also an equivalent emotional effect. And I think for all of the senses there is, like for example, if you smell something, that's olfactory, and you can also relate it, or you can also have something organic related to um, the organic imagery of it. So those are your types of imagery.